亲爱的观众朋友，您好，欢迎收看《世界面对面》，我是黄宝慧。今天新闻一开始，首先带你一起来关心本周的国际大事。
铁锤猛力一敲，5吨重混凝土块直接沉入海中，高达9公尺高，上面还有着菲律宾国旗的黄色浮标，成为中菲两国角力新标志。
The Philippine Coast Guard has installed 5 more navigational buoys in critical areas of the West Philippine Sea.
菲国海防队近期表示，针对南沙群岛专属经济区322公里内的5个水域，新增5个导航浮标，分布位置包含帕塔格岛、巴拉格塔斯礁以及最具争议的牛轭礁。2021年，牛轭礁曾有超过200艘中国海上民兵滞留，代替海军侵犯菲律宾主权。
Pinapakita natin na ina-assert natin ang ating sovereignty, and at the same time, we are adhering to the international statutes or law na kailangan ipakita natin based on UNCLOS yung ating entitlement ay pinoprotektahan natin.
CNN 报道指出，菲方这次大动作在南沙群岛设立主权线，更进一步打算在今年内另设6个浮标，与美方一同拉起抗中防线。
We want to send a message not only to China, but also to other claimants that we are here and our presence is marked by this navigational buoys.
菲国强化海上戒备不是没有原因，因为当局13号分别在牛轭礁以及后藤礁再度惊见超过100艘中国船只在菲律宾专属经济区内避风，行径嚣张。
We are grappling with both new and traditional threats to our people's security. Nowhere more acutely felt than in the Indo-Pacific region.
面对中国在印太地区的霸道举动，菲律宾对中态度也愈发强硬。中国解放军宜春舰、德阳舰在东海炮声齐发，对台威吓不间断。台海情势升温，盟友挺台援助也迅速到位。
States will soon provide significant additional security assistance to Taiwan through the Presidential Drawdown Authority that Congress authorized last year.
美国防长奥斯汀16号出席参院拨款听证会。路透社报道指出，针对中国威胁，拜登政府打算比照乌克兰军援模式，紧急运送价值5亿美元（约合台币154亿元）的武器，协助台湾自我防卫。
Last year, Congress authorized up to $1 billion in Presidential Drawdown Authority for Taiwan.
考量中国不断军迫挑战台海红线，总统拨款权将能不经国会许可，直接对台给予美方所能提供的各项资源。这次5亿美元将是总价10亿美元中所获得第一笔费用。
我们正告美方，切实恪守一个中国原则和中美3个联合公报规定，将不支持台独的承诺落到实处，企图以美谋独、以武谋独，是死路一条。
北京当局对此气到跳脚，要求停止任何美台军事勾连。美国众院外委会却无视威胁，16号无异议通过《台湾国际团结法案》，认为联合国大会第2758号决议并未禁止台湾在联合国拥有发言权，提升台湾国际地位。只是全案还没交付给众议院审议，中共已按耐不住怒火。
断交、废约、撤军3原则是中美建交的前提条件。绝对不容开历史倒车。
无视中共文攻武吓，美方从军事到外交，接力展现挺台坚定决心。
Musk tweeted that Soros reminds him of Magneto, a comic book supervillain.
开发高科技产品的特斯拉执行长马斯克，经常被人说是真人版钢铁人。他近日出言批评知名投资人、金融巨鳄索罗斯，就像万磁王，痛恨人类，还说他要摧毁文明社会。
The tweet about this notion that Soros hates humanity, is trying to destroy civilization, just plays into the classic anti-Semitic conspiracy theory about Jewish wealth and power.
马斯克指控索罗斯支持的政治人物打击犯罪不力，在破坏美国法治。不过他同时提到万磁王和索罗斯2位犹太人，加上痛恨人类的强烈用词，不禁让人联想到极右派的反犹太情节。
Until we stop looking, he's going to keep doing this because he likes the attention.
受到外界批评，马斯克强调他挺犹太人，但是关于推文的争议他毫不在意，甚至表示如果造成特斯拉客户或推特广告商不满也没关系。
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
索罗斯在1990年代成功狙击英镑，一战成名，成立慈善机构开放社会基金会。索罗斯也是极右派人士的攻击对象。正好他旗下的基金管理公司第一季出清特斯拉13万股的股票，和部分买进选择权，投资组合和马斯克划清界限。
美国移民法第42条，3年以来允许当局以疫情为理由迅速的驱逐非法移民，在5月11日正式的失效。但这不代表着美国对非法移民敞开大门。新的庇护规定更是要严惩非法移民，使得想要寻求合法途径入境美国的人数变多。美国总统拜登也承认，将会有一小段的时间的混乱。当局为了因应安置的需求，就连历史悠久的纽约罗斯福饭店也是变身为紧急的避难所。不过，近6个月以来，来自中国大陆想要偷渡进来的非法移民却是大增。为了脱离暴政，甚至冒着生命的危险卖命渡河，就是要找出进入美国的一条路。
巨大的铁门，高耸的围墙，这里是美国和墨西哥的边境。墙外挤满了外国移民，男女老少都一脸无奈，因为他们等候多时，只为了拿到美国的入境许可。
el modo de vivir que hemos tenido hasta el momento y de pronto tratar en lo posible de darle un buen futuro a nuestro hijo. No quiero imaginarme qué podría pasar porque no es lo que pienso, tampoco es lo que quisiera y esperemos que Dios permita y podamos ingresar.
不止边境涌入大批移民，有人带着小孩铤而走险，甘愿冒着生命危险也要渡河入境。
Después que uno vendió todo lo que tenía para venirse, ¿cómo se devuelve uno? Va a llegar sin nada allá. Ya toca pues esperar aquí en México para poder pasar llegar para allá.
甚至有人摸黑抵达美墨边境，为了讨生活放下一切，离乡背井也要前往美国。
La separación de la familia es una decisión muy demasiado difícil porque se queda uno con la certidumbre si regresa, no regresa, lo logró pasar, no logró pasar. ¿Cuándo la volvemos a ver? De pronto nunca. Es muy difícil.
墨西哥华雷斯城，一辆人称巨兽的货运列车一路向北，车里没有货物，却塞满人潮。移民得忍受日夜大温差，水和粮食缺乏。他们不是惜家带眷要入境，就是只身赴美打工赚了钱再寄回家。
¿Y quiere cruzar legalmente?
Legal o ilegal, como se pueda. Legally or illegally, he will cross, he tells me. I ask him if he's hopeful.
Sí, sí, fe, mucha fe.
I've got a lot of faith, he tells me.
各国大量移民不惜长途跋涉，民众在外餐风露宿，因为美国边境政策出现重大转变，允许快速驱离非法入境移民，实施长达3年之久的第42条法案，在5月11号正式取消。
The policy's name comes from Title 42 of the U.S. Legal Code, which is a body of public health laws. The Trump administration began using it in March 2020 to turn back migrants on grounds that they might bring COVID-19 into the U.S. Under the policy, most migrants were sent back to Mexico after Border Patrol agents recorded their names and fingerprints.
根据美国移民法规定，非法入境美国的外国人可以申请庇护，政府不能直接遣送回国。但是川普时期以防疫的理由推动的第42条，让管制人员可以在10分钟内决定是否要把非法移民送走。
It's not just El Paso, of course, facing this surge. One organization in Laredo, Texas, says that it is receiving 250 migrants per day, up from 50 per day 2 weeks ago. In McAllen, Texas, one shelter is getting 400 migrants a day, up from 150 2 weeks ago. And at a Brownsville, Texas shelter, officials say a couple weeks ago, they were seeing between 150 to 300 migrants a day. Now it's 1,000 a day.
第42条实施至今年3月，一共遣返280万人。随着新冠疫情退烧，以防疫关闭边境的理由失效。不过，美国社会担心政策转弯吸引更多非法移民入境，而且其中竟然还有中国人。
I go to Hong Kong from my home Hubei first, and then to Thailand from Hong Kong by plane, and then Turkey from Thailand by plane, and Ecuador, and up through the South America to America.
美墨边境出现亚洲面孔，中国疫情之后经济萧条，加上签证取得不易，让数百名中国人在社群平台抖音搜寻移民路线，直接用脚润到美国。
你是走线过来的吗？是。 是啊，你走了多久啊？我走了1个月。
中国人俗称的走线，说的是跨越中南美洲热带雨林，通过墨西哥进入美国。不止路途遥远，需要克服地形障碍，还得向当地的毒枭集团缴纳过路费。一位中国女士打算勇渡河川，他们大多上岸之后会寻找美国的执法人员自首投案。美国各大城市接纳移民，多处庇护所的容量已经不堪负荷。纽约市借用公立学校的场地作为移民收容中心，导致当地学生家长举牌抗议。
I don't mind giving a helping hand, but when it interferes with the education of our students, yes, I do care.
除了学校之外，纽约市曼哈顿中城的罗斯福饭店在3年前结束营业，如今变身紧急避难所，提供1000个房间用来接纳移民。但是有美国民众不满移民的开销由纳税人买单。
We've been involved, and they have aided the process of busing these migrants from tiny little border towns like Del Rio and Eagle Pass up to cities like Chicago, New York, and around the country. Thousands have been bused already. Many thousands more will be bused in the coming days because of the massive influx of illegal migrants coming across the border.
共和党籍的德州州长艾波特派出国民兵守护边境，还批评移民问题多次杠上拜登总统，甚至把移民巴士直接送到华盛顿。但是他口中宣称第42条废除之后恐将暴增的移民人潮却没有出现。
In fact, over the past 2 days, the United States Border Patrol has seen an approximately 50% drop in the number of people encountered at our southern border as compared to the numbers earlier this week before Title 42 came to an end midnight on Thursday.
5月11号新制上路之后，官方表示跨境人数不增反减。12号有6300人，13号有4200人。先前的第42条虽然会快速驱离非法移民，但是法律本身属于防疫规定，遣返之后没有罚则，移民可以多次尝试入境。
If they cannot request asylum from Border Patrol, they will seek to evade detection and sneak into the country. That's bad for border security. That's bad for the scenes of chaos and disorder that we're seeing. And in effect, if they are caught and sent back to Mexico, the result of that policy will be that people will attempt to recross the border again and again and again, and that's what we saw under Title 42.
现在美国回归移民法第8条，允许移民入境申请庇护，但是审核过程漫长，可能得花上好几年，而且失败之后5年内不得入境，多次入境还可能面临刑事罚则。不过除了修改法律，美国多处收容中心满载，若再不设法改善，未来恐怕出现人道与社会危机。
北京拓展“一带一路”倡议雄心受挫，日经新闻分析已经是因此而发生了质变，从过去侧重大型基础建设的基调，慢慢转向了投资生技、数位科技等等软性的项目。此外，签署国也纷纷的开始认为“一带一路”的经济利多有限，而其中7大工业国当中，唯一加入的意大利已经是暗示今年之内可能就会退出协议。而“一带一路”哀轰式债务陷阱外交影响持续在浮现中，像是东南亚国家寮国与中国合作建设中寮铁路，如今当地的商家却指出，中国企业家们凭借着雄厚的资本进驻当地，加剧不公平的竞争环境。
旅客提着大包小包进站，要去搭火车。往后这一班往来中国和寮国的铁路，不止两国民众可以搭乘，国际旅客也能买票乘坐。
大家可以看到，车身是红、蓝、白，这其实是老挝国旗的3种颜色。
记者从寮国的永贞站上车，体验当地民众口中所谓的网红列车，每天会双向对开各一列，全程途经8个车站，从云南昆明到寮国永贞，只要10小时30分钟就能抵达，不再需要好几天的跋涉。
看到这个列车，我觉得特别的亲切。大家看看这个座椅，还有看看这个指示牌、提示牌。还有整个车厢的设施， 在听着广播。
方向后端车门，请留给上车的旅客。
这老挝的动车跟咱们中国的真是亲姐妹啊！
称赞中辽铁路亲切感十足，毕竟是中国“一带一路”提出后首条以中方为主投资建设，全线采用中国技术标准，使用中国设备，并且与中国铁路网直接连通的国际铁路，重要性不言而喻。
ก็เคยขี่ครั้งแรกขี่ไปลงพะบังมาแล้วก็สะดวกสบายดีกว่าที่เราขี่รถก็ปกติใช้เป็นรถกระบะอย่างเพราะว่ามันต้องได้ขึ้นภูยากทางก็ยากหลายลำบาก
辽国旅客也觉得方便，而中辽铁路白天是载人的高速铁路，晚上则化身货运列车，更成为水果运输的又一选项。像是来自泰国的新鲜榴莲，中国的进口价格就因此便宜一半。
陆运的话，对于我们商家来讲的话，它那个风险性就比较大。但是铁路运输从泰国到昆明，然后从昆明再分拣出去，发往全国各地，到顾客手里只需要6天的时间。在没有铁路运输以前，我们可能需要半个月。
只不过中辽铁路2021年12月开通以后，辽国并未获得预期的经济效益。想要出口货物，还得受到中国严格管制。此外，还发生火车服务不佳、黄牛票猖獗等不少争议。去年辽国通膨以2位数飙涨，而根据辽国官方估计，中辽铁路通车后，有将近7500名中国人移居当地，这让辽国与中国的关系更加紧密。然而，大规模移民加剧当地激烈的商业竞争，导致辽国商家本身收入减少，根本无法与其竞争。
偶尔，我会带他们去划船。去画画，去放鱼。我还教他们包饺子，他们也会给我一些回馈，糯米饭。有些时候，也会带他们去厂房看看。
中国官媒释出的影片看起来双方相处和乐融融，恐怕只是北京大外宣的样板。而从更大范围来看，中辽铁路其实是泛亚铁路的重要环节。往南的中泰铁路完工后，就能将泛亚铁路中线全部贯通。
中辽铁路不仅实现了两国共建“一带一路”的美好愿景，还为两国人民以及沿线国家人民带来了福祉。
辽国是中南半岛中最小经济体，地处内陆，没有对外港口。原以为中辽铁路能吸引更多的外国游客和投资者，同时将更多的本国商品送出国门。殊不知，还没等到外资大举进驻，竞争空间就先被中企挤压。同样想靠“一带一路”翻身的，还有被誉为南美洲西藏的玻利维亚。2018年上车后，不止中国基建龙头中国中铁在这里大举造桥铺路，还有水力和风力发电等新建计划。
两国元首共同签署了《中华人民共和国和多民族玻利维亚国关于建立战略伙伴关系的联合声明》，并共同见证了共建“一带一路”等双边合作文件的签署。
2021年，中国在波国外债占比达到10.3%。然而，身为南美洲最贫穷的国家，玻利维亚的外汇存底连年缩减，到今年2月只剩下35亿美元，连3个月的进口所需都 hold 不住。另一方面，日经亚洲指出，2021年落成塞内加尔的政府数据中心就是中国协助建成，并且由华为提供伺服器等设备。大型基建项目减少，先进领域的生技和数位科技等软性投资等投资额较低，但是外交 CP 值高的项目正在增加，显示“一带一路”海外投资结构正在发生质变。
台海开战不只有大规模的军事冲突，经济损失也将是前所未见。美国情报总监分析，台湾最重要的晶片供应如果被切断，那么全世界每年就要赔上至少1兆的美元。有台湾专家进一步的指出，经济损失至少是3兆美元起跳。一旦战争爆发，美中台和全世界都没有赢家。
中共多次侵扰台湾海空域，军机军舰频繁出没。一旦台海战事爆发，全世界都受到影响。美国国家情报总监海恩斯5月4号在国会警告，中国入侵台湾可能害全球1年就损失1兆美元。
The manufacture of semiconductor chips on Taiwan, if that is blocked, it will have an enormous global financial impact that I think runs somewhere between $600 billion to over $1 trillion on an annual basis for the first several years on the global financial economy is the general estimate.
海恩斯参考的依据就是台湾独步全球的晶片产能，台积电晶圆代工市占率高达58%，先进制程更是多达90%，被迫停产必然牵动全球经济。
Because those chips, those advanced chips are in over 90%, come from Taiwan.
外媒日经新闻分析，中国侵台造成的冲击远不止1兆美元，因为西方将针对中国祭出制裁，影响出口产值1.34兆美元，相当于中国 GDP 的10%，冲击更胜过俄乌战争和新冠疫情。中国贸易伙伴也都将受到波及，全球承受 GDP 3%、2.61兆美元的经济损失。
If Taiwan is under attack, the stock market in US gonna vanish maybe like 3 trillion. So how can it be 1 trillion? I don't know who calculated this number, but I really think this number is way too small.
台新金控首席经济学家李振宇参加美国智库论坛时分析，台海战争的经济损失不可能只有1兆美元，至少3兆美元起跳。从晶片、物流、贸易到金融，台湾扮演全球的经济枢纽，一旦战争爆发，没有人可以置身事外。
根据经济部最新的统计，2022年我国固定的投资金额高达6.2兆元，创下历年来的新高，实质成长率是6.2%。而其中最主要的原因就是半导体厂商扩增先进制程，科技大厂纷纷扩大在台投资，以及台商回流挹注，带动了固定投资持续的走升。而其中台积电原料供应商英特格在高雄投资5亿美元，打造了全球最大的制造基地，就在这个月的10号正式启用。而英特格总裁暨执行长罗伊也亲赴现场剪彩，他表示这是英特格史上最大的一笔投资，而此举也彰显对台湾半导体产业的信心。我们非常荣幸为您独家专访到了罗伊总裁，听听他来谈谈为何不惧地缘政治的风险，选择加码投资台湾，以及台湾还有哪些的优势呢？来听听我们的独家访问。Mr. Law, it's so privileged to have you with us today. And I noted your schedule this time in Taiwan is very intensive. So I would like to start our interview today with a question regarding what brings you and your esteemed firm to Taiwan.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for the time with me today. Well, this week is a very important week, yes. A very momentous week at Integris. We are doing the grand opening of our latest manufacturing site in Kaohsiung, in southern Taiwan. This will be the largest, the most advanced manufacturing site for Integris in the world. So this is really the conclusion of 2 works of extensive work by the team, completing a project of about $500 million, which is the largest investment we have ever made on a manufacturing side. So obviously very important, very exciting for us.
Yeah, sure. Let me make a brief introduction to my audience in Taiwan regarding Integris. We know that Integris has been a giant in the semiconductor and also special chemical industry, and also a very, very important supplier to TSMC. And now Integris' largest and most advanced global plant is located in Taiwan. So it would be great if the President, Mr. Lloyd, could share with us what advantages do you see in Taiwan?
Well, our mission at Integris is to enable the technology roadmaps of our customers. And to do that, we intensely focus on innovation, the speed of innovation, and we intensely focus on manufacturing excellence. So in Taiwan, we've had, for a long time now, one of our most advanced technology centers, but we needed to expand the manufacturing capacity that we had in Taiwan. So this project is really doing this and will put us in a perfect position to support our customers and their ecosystem here in Taiwan as they continue to advance their technology. And so for us it was a very logical decision to invest in Taiwan. Taiwan is representing about 25% of the global semiconductor revenues. Wow. Of course, as you well know, In the foundry segment, Taiwan represents 65% market share in the world. So again, it was a very logical decision for us to invest here in Taiwan and to strengthen the relation that we've been building with the major players here on the island.
I read from the newspaper many reports that Integris wanted to invest maybe $500 million in Taiwan to build this plant. And we know that from 2022 to 2025, the global semiconductor industry will enter a wave of expansion for the chip factories. And once these factories are completed and put into production, then the demand for materials will be enormous. And you serve as the chairman of the board of director of SEMI. I recognize that you from your title. So how do you view the development of the future semiconductor market, and what role do you think Taiwan could play on it?
Well, the semiconductor industry is a very exciting place to be. It took 40 years for the industry to reach $500 billion in revenue. It will take less than a decade to reach 1 trillion. So in other words, less than 10 years to double in size. And for that, we will need globally a lot more capacity than we have today. So you should expect a lot of investments across a number of different markets to be ready for this surge in demand for semiconductors that we expect as we see greater adoption of new applications like AI, autonomous driving, and many other use cases for semiconductors. So Integris is obviously a very critical supplier, a very critical partner to the semiconductor industry. We needed to do our piece, and that's one of the major investments we will be doing as a company over the next 10 years to be ready for that surge in demand.
Good. Since the Integris plant in Kaohsiung is the world's largest, and so it is believed that Integris has also recognized the rapid growth of the semiconductor production process in Asia in the future. So what role does Integris hope to play in the semiconductor industry supply chain, especially in Asia in the future? And what kind of strengths can it bring to the development of Taiwan semiconductor industry?
So if you think about the semiconductor industry and you think about our customers, our fab customers, what they are trying to do is to advance the performance of their chips. And to do that, they have many different ways to achieve this goal, but two primary ways would be the adoption of new materials with better electrical properties.
Yes.
That's one way. The other way that they're trying to improve the performance of their chips is by making everything smaller. If you think about what we do at Integris, we have two core capabilities. We are a leader in material science, so we develop those new materials that will be key to the next generation chips performance. And we are the leader in contamination control. In other words, we actually help achieve atomic level purity for all of the materials and chemistries that are used in the semiconductor manufacturing process. So our two core capabilities, material science and materials purity, are going to be increasingly important to the success of the semiconductor technology leaders. And that's what we will contribute here in Taiwan. We will be enabling the continued success, the continued growth of the semiconductor industry here in Taiwan.
Yeah, good. Integris has a global presence and has been operating in Taiwan for the past 30 years. I checked with the, many reports. Yeah, the value created by the global talent working for Integris is so very evident. So therefore, may I ask the President, how do you feel about the quality and cooperation of technical talents in Taiwan? And in terms of international competitiveness, which aspects of Taiwan's talents do you think are the most promising?
We love the quality of the workforce here in Taiwan. You have some of the best universities, some of the best scientists and engineers when it comes to semiconductor technology. And you know, a lot of people think about investments in terms of buildings, in terms of equipment. I also like to think about investing in people, and that's really what we are doing here in Taiwan. We already have 700 employees here in Taiwan.
Wow, that many.
I would expect another several hundreds of employees in conjunction with ramping production in Kaohsiung. And again, it's really about capitalizing on this very vibrant, young, energetic workforce that we have here in Taiwan.
Okay, good. That's already what's happening here in Taiwan. But there is a very interesting news story that I would like to share with the president and ask about your opinion on. Currently, the South Korean government recently tried to partner with their tech giants such as Samsung or the SK Hynix to build the world's largest semiconductor cluster in Yongjin City, Gyeonggi-do, as modeled after Taiwan's Hsinchu Science Park. So what inspiration do you think the Taiwanese model can offer to the world for the semiconductor industry? And your company has been here, part of this cluster in Taiwan for a very long time now. So what do you think is the most attractive aspect and biggest competitiveness and also advantage for the Taiwanese, talents here?
Well, a lot of nations around the world are starting to realize the importance of semiconductors and semiconductor manufacturing. And many nations will try to replicate the model that exists here in Taiwan. But it's going to be hard. If you think about semiconductor manufacturing, it sounds simple. It's about patterning the wafer, depositing materials, you polish them, you etch them, you clean them, and then you repeat the cycle. It sounds simple. It's like golf. You have a ball, you have a stick, you hit the ball, and you try to put it in a hole. That sounds very simple, but I'm not a golfer, and I know how hard it is and how frustrating it is. And I think that a lot of nations will actually find that. I mean, I think that what is happening here in Taiwan is very special. You have a collective effort with a single purpose. And that shared purpose is the result of 30 years of collaboration across an expanded ecosystem. I think that's what Korea is trying to emulate. That's what many other countries will be trying to emulate. I think some may be successful, but I guess many will find it very, very hard to do.
Yeah, now comes to a very crucial question. Okay, we know that semiconductor industry is a high energy, high water consumption, and also very high carbon emission industry. And now today, we know that climate change is, so unpredictable. Now Taiwanese government also place very great emphasis on the environmental sustainability and achieving net zero carbon emissions. So therefore, I would like to know what environmental measures that Integris has taken for its new plant.
So you're right, the semiconductor industry is consuming a lot of energy, water, and other resources, and we have an obligation as an industry to be a responsible operator of our businesses. And at Integris, we take that responsibility very seriously. We have a very aggressive, a very ambitious series of sustainability objectives that are part of our corporate social responsibility program. And the plant that we're building here in Kaohsiung has been designed to actually operate consistent with those long-term objectives. So for instance, 85% of the water that we will be using daily for production will be recycled. By next year, close to 20%, 16% exactly, of the power used for production will come from solar panels that we have installed on the roof. And by 2030, I would expect that 100% of the energy consumed in Kaohsiung will be coming from renewable energies. So again, there are many different facts I could share with you, but needless to say that Integris is very committed to have one of the best sustainability agenda in the industry. It is our responsibility. That's a responsibility that we take very seriously, and we are proud of the way we will be running our operations here in Taiwan.
Very, very good. My last question today is an extra question. I would like to know your view that recent warfare in Ukraine and Russia brings what challenge or opportunity to integrate in the whole semiconductor industry. What's your comment on that?
Well, the semiconductor industry has been extremely agile. I mean, we are used to dealing with constant change. So I would say that of all of the industries around the world, I think that we are probably one of the industries that have fared the most effectively with the Russia and Ukraine crisis. I think most of us had suppliers that were based in those two countries, but we were able to rapidly identify alternatives and work with our customers to qualify those alternatives. So I would say that we were concerned, but today most of those concerns are in the rearview mirror, and now we can really focus on the future. We can focus on the next phase of growth and learn from all of those lessons, building additional resiliencies in our supply chains. And that's actually something that we took very seriously in the context of Kaohsiung as well. We are actively qualifying local suppliers for our specialty gases and for most of the chemicals that we will be using here in Kaohsiung, so that we can provide not just local capacity for our Taiwanese customers, but we can also rely on a local cluster of suppliers.
Good. I hear your point. Your keyword is working with your customers.
Indeed.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Loy, for your time and precious opinion and views. And we'd like to see integrates grows bigger and bigger and brings prosperity to Taiwan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
英国从去年开始展开为期6个月、全球规模最大的周休3日计划。就有台湾的民众在公共政策网络参与平台发起联署，已经有5736人附议，达到了联署的门槛。按照规定，政府将会在6月26号之前做出回复。而劳动部则是表示，周休3日扩及层面广，各部会将会综合评估、讨论，研拟可行性。With sleepy eyes at 8 in the morning. Many have already begun their commute, whether in the service industry or among regular office workers. The official workday begins, with a minimum of 8 hours of work being the daily norm. According to statistics from 2021, Taiwanese workers have an average annual total working hours of 2,000, ranking fourth highest globally. In response, Taiwanese citizens have initiated a petition on the public policy online participation platform, aiming to follow the example of many European and American countries and make Taiwan the first Asian country to adopt a 3-day weekend policy. The petition has garnered support from an impressive 5,736 individuals.
对他来说好。
为什么？可以多休当然好。多休息应该可能会比较上班可能会更有动力。
周休2日不够啊，不够放。
Switching to a 3-day weekend is definitely a thumbs up. It allows the gloomy Monday to be pushed further back. However, considering the significant differences between Taiwan's working environment and many countries in Europe and America, domestic business owners also believe that if such a change is to be implemented, it will have a tremendous impact, particularly on the service and manufacturing industries. Flex time arrangements may also need to be reactivated.
现在很多人周休2日都找不到人服务了，那个周休3日以后怎么样的配套措施？
那亚洲是还没有任何国家有周休3日这方面的政策推广。那我们会据实的把全世界发展的趋势，向提案的我们的公民来报告。
The Ministry of Labor has responded to this issue, acknowledging that although the military and public servants are not under their jurisdiction, their inclusion in the discussion is also necessary.
Furthermore, if teachers are to have a 3-day weekend, the consideration of students also becomes important, involving the Ministry of Education. Due to the significant impact and various aspects involved, including different industries and regional differences, comprehensive evaluations by government departments are required. A clear and explicit explanation will be provided before June 26 to address these matters.
感谢收看今天的世界面对面，我是黄宝慧，我们下次再会。